If you're spending another night watching a Claude tutorial, learning the next tool, waiting until you feel ready to start reaching out to businesses, you need to stop. Because what I'm about to tell you is going to change the way you think about your entire business as an AI operator. Anthropic just released Claude Dispatch, and by the end of this video, you are going to know 7 specific services you can sell with it without writing a single line of code. It's not what you think, and number 5 is the one most people overlook, but it's probably the easiest one to sell on this entire list. Quick one about me, so you know I'm not pulling these out of thin air. I ran a moving company for 4 years, so real local service business with daily leads coming in, customer service, my own crews, paperwork, the whole 9. Before that, I had an SEO agency. I've done 7-figure wholesaling during COVID. I've sold cars remotely. So I'm basically 10 years self-employed across multiple businesses, so I know exactly what businesses like that will pay for because I was the buyer. And the 7 things I'm about to walk you through are things businesses like the one I used to run would pay for today if someone showed up with them. So let's get into it. Real quick, in case you missed the launch, here's what Claude Dispatch actually is in plain English. It lets you text Claude from your phone and have it do real work on your computer while you're away. That's it. You're at dinner, you send Claude a message that says go through my inbox, flag what's important, draft replies to the obvious ones, you get home, it's done. Or find me 20 plumbers in Austin, enrich the data, add them to my outreach spreadsheet, done. This is not a chatbot, this is not a demo that only works in a controlled environment. This is a mobile interface that sends real instructions to a real Claude session running on your real computer. Anthropic launched it as part of their co-work product. Scan a QR code on your desktop and you're set up in literally a minute. And here's why I think you should care about this more than any other tool released this year. Most of you are stuck in a loop. You learn a new tool, you build a workflow, you tell yourself, once I master this, then I'll reach out to businesses. That day never comes. Meanwhile, other people are landing 4- and 5-figure projects and you're still tweaking a workflow nobody asked for. What I'm about to tell you flips that script, and it has nothing to do with learning another tool. Now here comes the part that matters most. If you're doing anything else right now, get your attention back for this one. Understanding a business's problem is more important than knowing how to build automations. I'll say that again because most people watching will miss this. Understanding a business's problems is more important than knowing how to build anything. You don't need to be a builder anymore. You need to be a problem finder. And I know what some of you are thinking, Kareem, I've spent months learning Make.com, N8N, building workflows. Are you saying that doesn't matter? Here's the thing, when I ran my moving company, the technical part of running the business was almost never the bottleneck. The bottleneck was always the same. Too many leads I follow up on too late, customers asking for quotes at 9 p.m. that I couldn't reply to until morning, missing Google reviews because we never asked for them, crews showing up to the wrong address because nobody updated the schedule, operations problems, communication problems, follow-up problems. If someone had walked into my office in 2023 and said, Kareem, I can solve any of these for you for $300 a month, I would have paid them on the spot. I didn't care if they used Zapier, Make, N8N, Custom Code, or Magic. I cared that the problem went away. That's the entire game, and Claude Dispatch just made it 10 times easier to be the person who walks in with the solution because the building part is now collapsing to almost zero. So with that in mind, let me show you 7 specific things you can sell with Claude Dispatch starting this week. And before I start, pick one. Don't watch this like entertainment. Pick the one you can imagine yourself walking into a business and pitching because that's the one you are going to go sell. Number 1, inbox triage and drafting replies. Position this as an AI executive assistant for solo operators. Claude opens Gmail, reads threads, labels what's important, and drafts replies to the obvious ones. When I ran the moving company, Friday night was the worst. I'd come back from a long day and there would be 40 unread emails. Half of them were just, do you do interstate moves? Or what's your hourly rate? Questions I'd answered 1,000 times. The other half were real leads buried in the noise. I lost real money to that inbox. Sell this to any founder or solo operator who runs their business out of their inbox. That's 2 hours of their day they get back. No integration, no webhook, Claude just does it. Number 2 is lead research and enrichment. This is your AI SDR. Claude looks up companies, pulls public info, builds enriched lead sheets, and adds them to your spreadsheet or CRM. You know that cold outreach system you've been trying to perfect? This makes it 10 times easier. You can sell this to recruiters, agencies, consultants, anyone doing outbound. They give you a list of company names, you give them back a list of company names, plus owner names, plus emails, plus phone numbers, plus a personalized first line for each one. Number 3, booking and calendar management. Claude finds availability, books meetings, sends confirmations, handles reschedules. And this is where I lost the most money at the moving company. We had a guy who would call to book a move. I couldn't pick up because I was at another job. He'd leave a voicemail, I'd call back 2 hours later, and he'd already booked with someone else. Every single time. A dispatch-powered booking flow would have caught half of these. Sell this bundle with an AI voice agent on the front end, and you've got a complete AI front desk offer. Local businesses pay $300 to $500 a month for that without blinking. Number 4, customer support and reply automation. Claude reads incoming support messages or DMs, drafts replies, escalates the edge cases. The pitch for this one is huge. Almost every small business is drowning in support requests. They don't want to hire more people. They've been told automation is too complicated for their setup because they're on some legacy platform. You walk in and say, I can handle this without touching your existing tools. Claude just reads your inbox and replies. That's an easy yes. This is the one I think most people will overlook on this list because it's probably the easiest one to sell. Support is universally painful. Every business has it. Most have no system for it. Number 5, reviewed request automation. Claude waits a day or two after a transaction or job, then sends a personalized review request from your business, follows up if there's no reply, and flags any negative feedback before it goes public. This is the one I would have killed for at the moving company. We were terrible at asking for reviews. Crews would finish a move, customer would be happy, nobody followed up. That single gap probably cost us 20 Google reviews a month, and who knows how many leads downstream from those. Sell this to anyone who delivers a service, moving companies, plumbers, landscapers, restaurants, dentists, hair salons. You position it as a reputation system, not review automation, because reputation sounds more valuable than automation. Number 6, repetitive browser workflows. Logging into platforms, copying data between tabs, submitting forms, pulling reports. The boring stuff every business does manually that nobody wants to think about. This replaces a huge number of end-to-end builds because Claude can just do it directly in the browser through Dispatch. You can literally sell no integration automation to businesses that have tools all over the place but no clean data between them. Real estate offices, insurance brokers, accountants, these people live in legacy software that doesn't talk to anything. Dispatch can. Number 7, cold outreach and prospecting. Claude finds leads, enriches them, drafts personalized cold emails or DMs, and queues them for you to review or send. Your outreach becomes hands-off. I tried this exact thing in 2025 with cold email for AI services I was selling on the side. Sent a couple thousand emails manually, had 1 or 2 qualified leads that didn't close. The whole thing took weeks. With Dispatch, that same workflow runs while you sleep. Sell this to anyone who's tried cold outreach once and gave up because it's too time consuming. That's a massive market. You could have all 7 of these dialed in and it won't mean anything unless you understand this next part. Go talk to businesses. Find their problems, solve them, that's it. That's the whole game. I keep saying this because you need to actually hear it. Knowing how to have a conversation with a business owner is more powerful than knowing how to build anything. And I know this hits different for some of you because you got into this because you love the technical side, but talking to people, selling, that feels uncomfortable, maybe even gross. But here's the truth. You can be the best builder in the world and still be broke. Or you can be a decent builder who knows how to find problems and communicate solutions and make real money. When I ran the moving company, the customers who hired us didn't always do so because we had the cheapest quote. They did so because they felt understood. The version of me that asked questions about their specific situation closed more jobs than the version that just sent the price. That's the skill that matters, and it's the same skill in AI services. So here's my challenge. Pick one of those 7, find a business that has that problem, get on a call, ask questions, understand the pain, and then say, I can solve this. You don't need to know every tool, you need to master the conversation. That's the skill. That's what separates builders making $50 an hour on Upwork from operators landing 4-figure projects and monthly retainers. So that's 7 things you can sell with Claude Dispatch, no code needed. If this was useful, subscribe. I'm putting one of these out every week, documenting the whole thing as I build my own AI business from zero, and drop your number in the comments. Which of the 7 would you actually go sell? See you in the next one.